Good afternoon, Katie Sarife. Welcome on VH Berries.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me. This is gonna be a good time.
This is going to be a good time, and I am extremely grateful because in the final attempt to reach the tone that starts your orchestral storytelling, I am holding my breath as you are bringing a balance of power and inherent faculty. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing really well. I'm in Texas visiting my family, which is always nice. So that's fun. And just having a really good time. How are you?
I am also doing good, Katie Sarife, and if I understood correctly, you're in Texas to escape any type of snow, and on the silver screened alley, you are making all the pins fall with your first throw and scoring an elegant strike.
Yes, I'm escaping all the weather. It's pretty warm here. Yeah, it's nice. It's also just a little break from the LA chaos. Fast pace, slow here, holidays. I'm really liking it. I've been here for almost a month now, which is crazy, but I love it. Where do you go back and visit family for the holiday season or anything?
I actually do not go back home for the holidays, but to come back to the bowling metaphor, Katy Sarife, in a bowling game, there are 10 rounds, also called frames, and together they form half of a second of an image of Daniela Rios.
Ah, thank you. Yeah, Daniela, so you're a fan of the movie?
I would love Katie Sarife to discuss about that feature film called Annabelle Comes Home. Can you tell us a little bit more about that character called Daniela Rios?
Yes, I was so honored to get to play her. She's such a fun character. I feel like, if you're going to be in a horror franchise, she's kind of a dream role. A little mischievous, but also has heart and is just seeking, answers. I think that we all have, the answer to the question that we all have, which is, what comes after? And is there an after? And can we speak to our loved ones? And, she's, it was really fun. It's funny to, I used to look at the Instagram comments and stuff whenever the movie first came out. And it was really funny because my inbox would have people that were watching it real time. And they would be so angry with my character as if I was, really her. And I'd be getting all these messages like, "What? Why did you let her out? What did you do? You unleashed this demon on everyone." And then they'd watch the rest and they were like, "You're so annoying." Some of them, I'm like, okay, hold on. And so then they would get to the end of the movie and they'd be like, I'd get messages back and they'd be like, "I love your character. I understand where she's coming from now. I really get it. There's a lot of heart here." So that was super fun to kind of get to experience or see, I guess, what their experience was like watching it for the first time. So definitely some fun comments in the inbox. But being part of the Conjuring universe was just such such an incredible honor and an amazing time. You're walking into this really well-established family of people who have created something they're so passionate about that has so much heart, but also horror. And the whole team was amazing. And it's just mind-blowing too. You're a part of a major franchise, blockbuster, on movie screens. It's a dream come true. I really loved it. And then also the cast was amazing. So I'm still friends with Madison and McKenna and Michael and everyone. And I keep in touch with, the producers and everything like that. Lulu Saffron, and we just did a short film together, which was awesome. So we all still stay in contact. So, yeah.
If I understood correctly, Katie Sarife, the audience was live texting you in the theater while watching Annabelle Comes Home, and you play a key character as the heavy clouds hanging over the horizon are filled with a sense of foreboding as she opens Annabelle's glass case and leaves it unlocked.
Yes. You understood very correctly. I was getting live feedback from the fans. From me opening the case, people were so angry about it. People were, and rightfully so, But that's the thing about the Conjuring universe. They always tie in the heart. They always tie in the heart of it, of, giving the characters reason for the mischief or what the mishaps that they're doing. And it doesn't just rely on, just simple horror tropes and everything like that. They have good character building, which I feel like makes a really good horror film. But yeah, I opened the case and I guess people will never let me live that down. That's okay. I'll gladly accept it. I'm a little different than Daniela in that sense. I don't know, actually. Curiosity does get the better of me sometimes. So if I saw a giant door that said "do not open," I might want to know what lies behind. But maybe not in the Warrens' house.
Absolutely, Katie Sarife, your curiosity is growing despite your character seeing the 4 locks on the door, as well as the text sign that said, "Warning, positively do not open."
Yeah, she either doesn't know how to read or she's just very ignorant. No, yeah, she's a little misbehaved. But I mean the four locks might have gotten me. I'd have to know what was behind, but I would make sure someone came with me. Just as backup. I don't think she knew the horrors that lie behind, if the sign wasn't enough, we had 1 lock, 2 locks, 3 locks, and she just did not listen. But she, like I said, she has good reason. She wanted to reach out to her dad and see if, what was there, what was in the afterlife. But yeah, that should have probably convinced her not to go in there for sure. Especially in a house such as the Warrens household, where there's ghosts and you never know what lies at every corner. I definitely don't think she thought that there would be a whole train of monsters unleashed by going in there, in her defense. We knew that as the audience. We know we're in the Warrens' house, and this is ghost-ridden and monster-ridden, but... she's 16, 17. Let's cut her some slack.
Absolutely, Katie Sarife, and you just mentioned the emotional background of Daniela Rios because she's hoping to communicate with her father spirits. How did you prepare to portray her complex motivations and emotions?
That was a really, really fun thing about this character. You know, she's not just mischievous. She's not just going in and being set up to unleash these things for the sake of the movie, having horror aspects to it. It's she had a deep emotional trauma, which was in a weird way fun to tap into. I love deep roles that have, you know, challenging backstories and things like that. So I really tried to put myself in her shoes as far as what it would be like to A, lose your father, which it would be traumatizing for anyone, and B, lose him in a really traumatic way. It was a car accident where she was driving, and I think it's really hard for anyone in a situation where you're responsible for someone else's death to not blame themselves, let alone a teenager, you know, and it's your father. And I'm sure there's so many things that you wish you could have done differently, but the weight of that, for her to be as, you know, as peppy and as free as she still is, I think, you know, shows her strength and a lot of growth. And yeah, so I just think I really tried to sit there and process that whole moment, as sad as it is. I went through, you know, before those scenes where I had really deep connection with seeking my father and those heavier scenes, I would try to reimagine the car accident and sitting in the seat and looking over and seeing my dad and how that must feel. So I could kind of get into her state of loneliness and that gap that's left within her. Another thing that I did was, this was my first time doing this. So I've always used music to get into my character's mindset and to tap into those sad emotions. I feel like music has a really great way of kind of being it's kind of a sense of time travel. We listen to music with our best friends and it reminds us of a really great memory or a really good time, and it can put us in a good mood. Or we have a certain pump up song that gets us going. Same thing with certain sad songs that really connect with us, right? And so what I did for this character was I found songs that someone who had maybe lost someone in their life would listen to, and I created a playlist based off of that. My Heart Will Go On was on there for sure, and I would listen to that beforehand as well to just try to connect to what I know. Tarzan. To try to connect to what she must be going through and what people who have lost a parent would be going through, as I have not had that. So yeah, those were some things. And then I threw in some like late 60s, 70s songs on the playlist for my way to work, to just kind of get myself in that era of time. But yeah, it was a lot of digging, a lot of fun. Another thing too is behind the scenes, we would always kind of ask for 2 to 3 minutes heads up. We being me, McKenna, and Madison, because we had a lot of scenes where we had to be emotionally vulnerable and available and cry and scream and be in terror. And so we'd ask for a little bit of a heads up so that we could prep mentally for that. And so there was one time I remember where we were just all sitting on the stairs together crying, which was a really great bonding moment as actors. And we all talked about, we were curious what each other used. Because I think actors are always curious about what other actors use in their process, because there's so many different ways that you can tap into the emotional truth and depth of your character. There's no right or wrong way. There's just what works for you. And I use many different things. So it was really interesting to hear Madison's perspective, McKenna's. It was so sad. Having, I forget what she was at the time. I want to say 13, just a 13-year-old tell you what she was imagining to try to get into this character. But yeah, it was emotionally taxing.
It was emotionally taxing, Katie Sarife, and this project can be defined by the word eerie, and you are taking that adjective and replacing the first letter with an S because you're currently working or you're on your own series?
I am working on my own series right now. I am, it's really fun. I'm working on a psychological thriller that involves sin and morale, and it's been so much fun. I'm doing the pitch deck for it right now. So I'm designing it, I'm writing it, and I will be pitching it very soon. I feel like it ties into a lot of different questions that we have about life and about, you know, what causes someone's downfall. And then let me grab my water real quick. Yeah, so it's this genre that I love so much. Psychological thrillers, anything that makes you think, questions of life, anything that has twists and turns, stuff like that. But yeah, that's been my primary focus right now, and it is taking up so much of my time, but it's so much fun. I feel like writing is something that is kind of been an untapped creative outlet for me for a long time. I always was really interested in writing from a young age. My mom put me in writing camps and things like that. And I think there was just a part of me for so long, the reason that I haven't pursued this earlier, I think there was a part of me for so long that just didn't think I could do it. I don't know where that belief came from. I think that just, you know, I think we all have questions of when we have these grand dreams of if it's something you can actually accomplish and if someone would actually want to hear your voice. So, you know, working through that, I think I'd worked through that with acting. Of course, I've always really believed in myself. You definitely have to pursue something with so much rejection. And writing was one that I think I just had to convince myself. You'll never know unless you try. And so I did just that. I tried, and I found it's really, really freeing. I have another movie that I'm working on right now too. It's a sci-fi romance, and that is that one's really fun. It's totally opposite of the TV series that I'm working on. It's got comedic elements and things like that. But yeah, this has been a really, really fun thing for me to explore. I'm learning a lot about myself, a lot about the process. I have so much respect for people who do this every day. It is very time consuming, but so freeing. I think the fans of my work will definitely be fans of the works that I'm doing, especially the show. Because like I said, as a fan of that genre myself, it is, it's something that I would watch for sure. I think you should only work on things that you're excited about and would want to watch yourselves versus I think a lot of people just try to find the first thing that comes to mind because they're seeking a story so badly that they just settle, which is, I'm a bit too much of a perfectionist for that.
Absolutely, Katie Sarife, and that project will be a psychological horror thriller revolving around morals and sins. And I learned that sins are sins because of what makes wrongs wrong. And I need an explanation because the more I know, the less I know.
About sin? So what makes a sin a sin?
Absolutely.
I feel like what makes a sin, part of it is, I think, well, you can sin against yourself, I believe. I think you can anything that's like self-destructive or self-harming or doesn't really honor yourself. And I don't really, I don't know what my belief is. I believe in a higher power or something of the sort, but I do think that there is right and wrong. And I think if it harms others, unless it's a necessary harm, right? It's if that harm is for the better of somebody. If you're looking out for somebody and you have to maybe lie in the moment to protect someone or something of the sort, then it's a bit more murky. But if you're doing something that is putting somebody else in danger, that is harming somebody else's soul, so to speak, that's a sin. I feel like, I don't know, it's not, that's the thing about sin, is it's not so black and white. What I'm exploring in this is that most people have a reason behind what they do, a justification. Not that makes something right, but that we tend to look at somebody and just judge them harshly because we would never do that particular thing that they did that we deem so unworthy. But I do think that there's a world where we could try to look at a lot of those people and try to figure out why they've done what they've done and get into their mindset, so that can help us better understand them, ourselves, and realize that for the most part, I don't believe that most people are malicious. I think that they are doing the best that they can with what they have. So it just kind of touches on the complexities of sin and how it is not so cut and dry. And most of all, even the seemingly unredeemable characters, I want you to be able to connect with them to see their mindset and their state of mind when they were going through what they were going through. And some people can look at sin as sort of an addiction, so to speak. There are people who have really good intentions and want to get rid of those things, but it's not so simple. Say you're gambling, it's addiction's a disease. And so I want to really paint the picture of that struggle, to let go of that and change, and how redemption is not so easy, but is possible if you really try to overcome that thing and you don't view yourself as the sin. You separate yourself and the sin. I don't know if that answered your question at all, or if I just went on a giant tangent, but hey, sin is complex.
The sins are complex, and in definitive, how would you describe the Sarife creative fingerprint?
All of my stories have a lot of depth, I feel like, into just the psychology of people and things like that, and morals and what makes people and what makes life worth living. So for every story, even my sci-fi romance, which leans a bit more comedic and things like that, definitely touches on the themes of just the big questions that we have in life. Those are my favorite conversations to have with people, and also my favorite things to just delve into on my own. And so with these stories, I want to tackle some of those things because I want to tap into everyone's mind and curiosity about those topics. What makes life worth living? What, is emotion crippling, or is it something beautiful? Would you rather have everything go right in your life, or but never experience the highs and the lows of life? If everything was really how we wanted it, if everything was perfect, if we were always happy, would we know happiness? Those are some questions, things like that. And I don't know. That's a hard one. I just like to bring just deep philosophical questions into my writing and creativity. That's what I focus on most of the time. That's what's going on up here. A lot is just the meaning of life and what makes us us.
Absolutely, Katie Sarife. It is all about the meaning of life. And you are pocketing very soon the camera, exactly like Erica Shawn, a documentary filmmaker working around Campbell Bradford.
Yeah. I am definitely, I feel like, drawing some from that. She's amazing. That character's amazing. And that whole storyline. But yeah, there's definitely some themes of that film in here. That was a really fun film. So Cold the River. I was 5 weeks in Indiana, which was so much fun and such a great time. It was so cold. No pun intended. So cold, the river. But yeah, there's definitely that's one of the reasons I love that movie too, is because it asks a lot of those questions of, that one is like, how far will you go for your dreams, and what will you sacrifice, and who will you sacrifice? And yeah, that was really fun to work with that whole cast. And oh my gosh, the premiere of that one, I just had a dream about that last night. You know how like you don't remember your dreams until something triggers it the next day and you're having a conversation, and then it's like that dream would have never ever returned to your memory otherwise. Yeah, I had a dream that I was back at that hotel. It's gorgeous. It's also in the middle of nowhere. It's surrounded by trees, and at one point it was the world's largest dome. But anyhow, yeah, so I had a dream that I was back at this hotel because we had this premiere, this grand ball premiere where we all, got dressed up. The place is fancy, and we screened the movie with a bunch of the people from the town and other people from Indiana. And it's just got such this beautiful history behind it. Yeah, that was just a little tidbit about that movie. If you haven't seen it, you should. It's fun.
There is a lot of history behind those projects, Katie Sarife. And on the one hand, you could be dreaming about those supernatural elements and dangerous secrets from the feature film, so-called The River. Or, on the other hand, you could be also dreaming about the GBA studio, also known as Just Be Acting.
Yeah. Yes. That's my acting studio. I love it. It's my baby. I started teaching around the same time as when I started acting in TV and film. I started at, I started TV film acting at around 13, 14. And then I started assistant teaching at 15 at a very young age at a studio here in Texas. Catherine Sullivan's acting for film. She's amazing. We still keep in touch and I adore her. But yeah, so I decided to create my own studio with my best friend. And we teach mainly on Zoom, actors all over the world. And yeah, it's really cool to get to help aspiring actors that, have some of the same dreams as me, as I did, and help them on their journey. And help them not make some of the same mistakes that I made. Because, yeah, if I could help people through those, navigate through those hoops and the rejection and everything like that, then I've done my job well. But yeah, I love teaching and inspiring others, and I do it every week. And I will continue to do it, probably for the rest of my life.
You're doing it every week, and in conclusion, I am looking forward to witness your personal project that is talking about moral and sins. And as of today, I do not belong to the acting sphere, so the only mentoring that I currently need would be the Just Be Baking studio, so I can improve my croissant making skills. Thank you very much, Katy Sarife.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome. Yeah, and good luck on your croissant making. If you get some good tips, please do let me know, because I love it.